Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Rise from your grave. Well, it's I've been away for a while, huh? My excuse, I've been playing God of War, as many of you might know. Clearly so addicted to the game of the generation, I didn't have time to find out any content on YouTube. Either that or I've just been slacking. But hey, I'm back. Dad of War is complete, and you would have heard my thoughts on it tonight probably. But something else came up. As we know, Capcom came up, and you all know how fun it is to chew out modern day Capcom, right? Because guess what? What this company has recently announced for their version of Resident Evil 7 on the Nintendo Switch digs up something that goes a lot deeper. But I see this as nothing but your usual bait and eventual trap, because this is in my mind. I'll try to convey exactly what many studios and gamers, in terms of this trap and the bait, do in today's modern gaming world, I feel. So the Nintendo Switch is getting Resident Evil 7, yay! But currently it's only confirmed for Japan, and the biggest change, as many of you might already know, is that there will be no physical version. There won't be no digital version. This game will be entirely streamed to your Nintendo Switch. Guess what? It'll be free for the first 15 minutes. Thanks Capcom, and it's going to give me a real good taste of the game. You can see how this video is going to go. Then later, if you want to continue playing, they've put a subscription service which will cost you around 2,000 yen for 180 days, which equates to about $20, or most likely around the same in other countries, if, for example, it did come over here. And you want to know what's even funnier? Is that this amount that you're paying is just for one single game. One single player game. It's not a subscription service for a whole load of Capcom games. £20, $20, 2,000 yen for X amount of days. It's just for a single title, single player title. And this, where do I start? First of all, I can imagine many people thinking, hey, $20 for 180 days, sounds all right. I mean, there must be a reason why they had to do it this way, right? Because the Switch, it probably just can't handle Resident Evil 7. This was the next best alternative to getting the game on the system. Or perhaps this is a temporary stopgap until they are able to get it on the system properly. That could happen, right? Maybe let's wait and see. In regards to the Switch, this seems to be its most popular slogan when people are talking about major third-party content on the system. More than anything else. I said not long ago that excuses are running out in terms in regards to certain software realistically being viable on this platform. I will agree that the success of the Switch would have taken many by surprise. I can understand that. Based off the Wii U. So many sat back and waited to see if the machine would become a success. Something that that ticks me off as well. But I'm not getting into that right now. But as we know, the Switch boomed. It's been talked about more than any other console right now. Its sales are high. Much of its software from many companies is selling more than every other platform combined, confirmed by many developers. So that's just facts. And after 1 year on the market, you start getting a sense, or perhaps the hope, that many of these bigger developers were scrambling to get their content on the system, because why ignore the hottest platform on the market right now, right? So, in a very, very small part, I accepted that these developers were caught with their pants down and were now ensuring that they got many of their big names onto the platform. And, here we are after a year and a bit, and you still get the impression that many of them don't want to fully commit to it. So, instead, have been dropping what are essentially safe bets, things that will, in many ways, guarantee them money, because this is where we've come, right. We've become almost obsessed with rebuying games every generation, because with every generation a new platform releases that just seems ideal for certain games, and yes, the Switch is indeed ideal for many games. That's why we all love the system. But then the industry has also adopted many other ways of playing content, many of which to the point where we're paying for things that were either once we either once had in previous generations, or looking at Resident Evil 7 now, we are paying to stream something that will never belong to us, something that isn't for the consumer to own. It's simply for them to fork over the cash and then walk away. And we need to be honest here. This is Capcom. This for Capcom is by far the easiest and laziest form of distribution they could possibly have for one of their major titles on a major platform. And yes, people, the Nintendo Switch is a major platform, because that thing will probably have outsold the Xbox One by this time next year, and the Xbox One released in 2013. That's 5 years ago. You could look back at the arcade scene for this also, I feel. A place where we pumped pound after pound, dollar after dollar, yen after yen in order to play these top tier games that simply didn't and couldn't exist at home, until the technology finally caught up, and we were able to simply just buy the game, own it, and play it whenever we want. I guess you have to ask yourself, what changed the most here? The thought of being able to play these types of games at home, or the thought that we can finally own these games ourselves now without paying per minute? A bit of both perhaps, but then there's also the fact that the arcade scene hasn't recovered, perhaps for both reasons again. Comfort at home, and knowing that you don't have to put in, like I said, pound after pound to just play a game that you love and you want to continue playing, but you can't. You have to keep paying for it. So here we are in today's gaming climate. We have to remember AAA and consoles where we are today. So we are in today's gaming climate, and you have to wonder where it started. That moment where we didn't actually want to own the games we bought anymore, because somewhere along the lines, many of these developers told us that they just didn't make enough money, or see enough value in producing a physical product. It just wasn't viable anymore. The old ways just didn't work. To create a product, something for their consumers to have as their own, to value as their own. Somewhere along the lines, we all decided that this was better for us. That we completely understood why the business model of creating a full product and selling it in shops just didn't work anymore, and we were better off having the product stripped down sometimes and delivered to us in parts or through other channels that have restrictions on everything, that we once used to have none on. No restrictions on these things, because we paid for them and we owned them. We decided to go back to the days of the arcade where it was fine to play for a short time, but then walk away from the game we were never ever going to be able to own. We decided to accept new entries in games that were shadows of their former selves from previous titles. We decided that we were fine to it was fine to pay for full price for the product, but only have half of it complete, whilst the developer finished another quarter of it, then slowly got us to buy the rest of the experience again to finish it off, because hey, it was just wasn't financially viable for them to put the whole game on a disc or cartridge for the first time round, right? And of course, as consumers, we completely understood that reasoning, and we were happy to accept the alternative of having less but still paying the same. I refuse to support these models with every ounce of my gaming self, and not just my gaming self, but every ounce of me as a consumer. I just cannot see how this benefits me as a consumer. Someone paying for a product that can be snatched away from me at any time. And to rub it in even more, it even states on Crapcom's website that your saves are tied to the cloud as well and can be deleted if seen as inactive. Crom, how is this good for us people? Someone explain it to me. And believe me when I say this, some people might say that this is okay for one or two games, but as soon as you open that floodgate, the same floodgate where they put online multiplayer behind the paywall, the same floodgate where microtransactions were considered fine just as long as they didn't interfere with the main game, that the same floodgate where day one patches for broken games were fine just as long as they fixed it, that the same floodgates where Crapcom can patch in core modes to their games on day one because whatever you paid for on that cartridge was clearly not good enough and they couldn't be bothered during their development to make that product. Those same products that they made years ago, were so full of content, they make today's games look embarrassing. Trust me, as soon as you start supporting this and making up any excuses, there will be electric eyes everywhere. You're waiting patiently to see the inevitable uptake of these practices, and then that's our asses, because guess what? Many of these companies have bred many of what I consider to be the staple market of this industry, the gamers who make up the bulk of what's sold today. They've bred gamers' minds on accepting in a way their consumer rights being taken away from them for years, and this industry for me will come crashing down. People will make their excuses. You'll see, they'll make their excuses, convincing themselves that it's okay, and me and many others will suffer for it. But hey, they call us the gamers. They call us type of gamers the dinosaurs, right? Living in the past because we can't buy games, so they belong to us anymore. It's just that that type of modern day gaming mentality. I just can't relate to anymore. I honestly can't. But but anyway, I've had enough of talking about this company for one night. Let me know your own thoughts as always. Sorry I've been away for a while. I will be back now as regular. I'll try to keep up with 1 or 2 videos a week. I never like to promise it, because something might happen with my busy life, but I will promise to, I am back now, and I'll promise to get some more engaging and content that I hopefully normally do back up and running. But anyway, like I said, thanks for listening all. Let me know your own thoughts below. As always, I will reply to every single one of you, whether you agree with me or not, and thanks for listening. Peace.